Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I am Deepika Mehta, and coming up in the next 30 minutes. Former US President Barack Obama and his wife Michelle Obama endorses Kamala Harris's bid for upcoming presidential election. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi pays homage to martyrs of the Kargil war in Dras, says Pakistan has not learned the lessons of history. India will crush terrorism with all its force. And the stage is all set for a unique opening ceremony on the River Seine in Paris as the world gets ready to compete for Olympic glory. Former US President Barack Obama and his wife Michelle have endorsed Kamala Harris's bid for upcoming presidential election on Friday in a roughly 1-minute-long video that captured a private phone call between the couple and the current vice president. In a video shared on social media platform X, Harris thanked the couple and said that it means so much to have their endorsements.
Hi.
Hey there.
Oh, hi, you're both together. Oh, it's good to hear you both.
I can't have this phone call without saying to my girl Kamala, I am proud of you. This is going to be historic.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Oh, my goodness. Michelle, Barack, this means so much to me. I am looking forward to doing this with the two of you, Doug and I both, and getting out there, being on the road. But most of all, I just want to tell you the words you have spoken and the friendship that you have given over all these years mean more than I can express. So thank you both.
US Vice President Kamala Harris begins her campaign trail after replacing President Joe Biden as the Democratic presidential candidate. Her first video advertisement was released on Thursday, framing the campaign as a battle to protect Americans' individual liberties.
We each face a question.
The US Vice President rallied the American Federation of Teachers on Thursday during its 88th National Convention in Houston. While addressing the officials, Kamala focused on economic policy and workers' rights, touting plans for affordable health care and childcare.
Donald Trump and his extreme allies want to take our nation back to failed trickle-down economic policies, back to union busting, back to tax breaks for billionaires. Donald Trump and his allies want to cut Medicare and Social Security, to stop student loan forgiveness for teachers and other public servants. And I say to AFT, they even want to eliminate the Department of Education.
Further, Kamala Harris has said that she was ready to debate Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. Responding to questions by reporters at a joint base Andrews, Harris reiterated her commitment to the previously agreed debate on the 10th of September and that it appeared Trump was backpedaling out of the meeting.
So many of you have been asking me about the debate, and I'll tell you, I'm ready to debate Donald Trump. I have agreed to the previously agreed upon September 10th debate. He agreed to that previously. Now it appears he's backpedaling, but I'm ready. And I think the voters deserve to see the split screen that exists in this race on a debate stage. And so I'm ready. Let's go.
Now, White House further said that they are close to a Gaza ceasefire deal. In a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, US President Joe Biden has expressed the need to close the remaining gaps and finalize the Gaza deal as soon as possible.
There are gaps that remain, and our team continues to work with our counterparts in the region to see if we can't close those gaps. We believe that they are of a nature where they can be closed and that we can achieve a deal. But it's going to require, as it always does, some leadership, some compromise, and an effort to get there. The President will be reaffirming for Prime Minister Netanyahu that he believes we need to get there and that we need to get there soon.
Families of hostages being held in Gaza said that they had received an absolute commitment that Israel and the United States are urgently working towards a ceasefire deal to end the Gaza war. The families had a meeting with US President Joe Biden and visiting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House.
But we did get a commitment from the President and from the Prime Minister that both teams will be working by the hour in the coming days to put out an adjusted proposal to Hamas, and they understood completely and are partnered with us around the urgency.
We've got a rare moment now where the current President of the United States and anybody who might become President of the United States, both Vice President Harris and Donald Trump, are all aligned in saying this deal must get done now. So anybody on any side who makes the mistaken political calculus that there's benefit in waiting will find out that that logic is wrong. The deal must happen now.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with the relatives of the hostages held by Hamas. At the meeting following his address in the US Congress, Netanyahu said that the families of hostages praying, yearning to see their loved ones brought back home. During his trip to Washington, D.C., he was joined by the U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Mike Johnson. Russia overnight launched drone attack on Ukrainian power facilities in 2 regions on Thursday. According to the national grid operator, the attacks have led to power outage. However, supplies have been restored to most consumers in the northern Chernihiv and Zhytomyr regions. Ukrainian energy sector has been recently on Moscow's radar. This has also made Kyiv to start large-scale electricity imports from the European Union. Romania said it found Russian drone fragments near Danube and Ukraine border after overnight Russian attacks against Ukrainian infrastructure on Thursday. However, NATO said it saw no sign of an intentional attack on the alliance's territory after Moscow troops fired 38 long-range drones into Ukraine. Russia, in its counter-offensive against Ukraine, recently has been targeting Ukraine fuel, armed depots and power grids. The attacks came as Dmitry Peskov, the press secretary of the Russian president, on Thursday said that Russia was open to negotiations with Ukraine, but the country needs to know how ready Ukraine is for negotiations. And now we have a report from Dasha Chernyshova from Moscow. Let's take a look at that.
Russian authorities have said that attacks against the energy facilities of Ukraine are part of the demilitarization process because Russia insists it is targeting the military-industrial complex of Ukraine as well as the energy facilities that are all used for the military purposes by Kyiv. At the same time, we have repeatedly heard from the Russian authorities over the course of the past 2 years that attacks against the energy facilities come in response to Ukraine's strikes against the Russian border regions as well as the locations inside the Russian territory. So we're yet to hear for the Russian Ministry of Defense comments on that, but it is largely seen as part of Russia's ongoing special military operation.
Now, China, Japan and New Zealand attended the post-ministerial conference on Friday, held by the ASEAN group of countries in Laos. The conference is a part of the ongoing ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting. The progress of China-ASEAN cooperation was reviewed during the conference, where China claimed it was a solid progress despite few bottlenecks. Japan also reiterated the same sentiments, while New Zealand's Foreign Minister Winston Peters mentioned the issues of regional security, which are of critical importance. 2 more summits are scheduled for Saturday on key global issues. OpenAI has come forward with a new challenge for Google. The artificial intelligence pioneer on Thursday announced that the launch of Search GPT, and it also places that AI giant in competition with its largest backer, Microsoft's Bing search engine and emerging services. However, the new search engine is only being tested with a small group of users and publishers as of now. Let's take a look at this report.
OpenAI is taking on Google with a new search engine. The artificial intelligence pioneer on Thursday announced the launch of Search GPT. It's a prototype AI search engine and is only being tested with a small group of users and publishers. The best features from the search tool will later be incorporated into the ChatGPT chatbot. OpenAI says the product will provide summarized search results with links to source material. It's potentially a big threat to Alphabet-owned Google, which dominates the global search market. In June, it had a market share of over 91%. Alphabet shares closed 3% lower following the news. But the move could also put OpenAI on collision course with its own big backer, Microsoft, which operates the Bing search engine. The Windows maker has already adopted OpenAI tech for use by Bing. Meanwhile, Google recently rolled out AI-powered summaries. Another rival is the startup Perplexity, a search-focused chatbot backed by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and AI chip champion NVIDIA.
And now it's time to take a look at news making news around the world. According to the government notification, Sri Lanka is all set to hold the next presidential elections on the 21st of September. The last date for submitting nominations is 15th August. Incumbent President Ranil Wickremesinghe took the office after Gotabaya Rajapaksa's resignation in 2022. Spain swelters under heat wave for a second day as it peaks, leaving people suffering as they desperately seek respite. High temperature alerts have also been issued for various cities throughout the country. The heat wave is expected to last for another week. Japan witnessed severe flooding with a record rainfall, with rivers in northern region breaching their banks. The weather department issued highest level of alerts across the region. Though the alerts were downgraded on Friday, the authorities urged people to remain cautious of flooding and landslides. New York's Frank Shiner Theatre provides theatre goers a special experience of watching a theatre not with their eyes but with their senses. The play Odd Man Out showcases the journey of a blind musician returning to his native place. And still to come on DD India Live. NSA Ajit Doval is leading India's delegation to the BIMSTEC Security Chiefs meeting in Myanmar. And after this short break, we'll also get you an update on the ongoing UNESCO World Heritage Summit in New Delhi.
We simply throw things away when we're done using them, be it a cup, an old shirt, or a used battery. But we can do a lot better. Let's find out how.
I thought I can get a bunch of people together and we can just create this beautiful product while not being wasteful, while paying people correctly, while not throwing things into the garbage can.
Our goal is to recover 95% of our nickel, which is the most expensive, most valuable ore, including aluminum and copper, of course.
We are successfully managing waste in this small town with a limited number of people, resources, and market. If we can do that here, it would definitely be possible in larger towns that have many advantages over us.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India Live. Well, India is observing the 25th anniversary of Kargil Vijay Divas. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday paid homage to the Kargil war martyrs. The Prime Minister laid a floral wreath at Dras War Memorial to pay tributes to the officers and soldiers of the armed forces who made the supreme sacrifice in the service of the nation. Prime Minister also witnessed the first blast of the Shikoon La Tunnel project in Ladakh virtually. The Shikoon La Tunnel project consists of a 4.1 kilometers long twin tube tunnel that will be constructed at an altitude of around 15,800 feet on the Nimu-Padum-Darja road to provide all-weather connectivity to Leh. Once completed, it will be the highest tunnel in the world. Shikoon La Tunnel will not only ensure swift and efficient movement of armed forces and equipments, but also foster economic and social development in Ladakh. So the Shikoon La Tunnel in the Union Territory of Ladakh in Himalayas would be ready in 4 years. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually carried out the first blast in Kargil. This all-weather tunnel has a strategic importance. DD India correspondent spoke exclusively to the Director General of the Border Roads Organization on the project. Take a listen.
The tunnel is 4.1 kilometers long. I would like to take just a minute about that. It connects the Himachal Pradesh that is the Lahaul Spiti Valley. It connects it to the Zanskar Valley. Between that, we have a mountain range where there is one pass which is Shikoon La. The connectivity which we have established between Nimu, Padam and Darcha, which we were able to establish in March this year, it will not be an all-weather connectivity. So therefore, the requirement of a tunnel. And like I said, we expect to be able to complete this in 4 years' time.
And on the occasion of the 25th anniversary of Kargil Vijay Divas, Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tribute to the brave hearts who made supreme sacrifice in the line of duty. During his speech at the Kargil War Memorial in Dras, Prime Minister Modi warned Pakistan, stating that the soldiers of India will crush terrorism with full force and that the enemy will receive a befitting reply, sent a clear warning to Pakistan and not to resort to nefarious designs to foment violence in India.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi from Kargil warned the neighbouring country Pakistan that its evil intentions would never succeed in India. He asserted that Indian soldiers would defeat Pakistan's strategy of fomenting terrorism and infiltrating borders.
पाकिस्तान ने अतीत में जितने भी दुष्प्रयास किए उसे मुंह की खानी पड़ी है, लेकिन पाकिस्तान ने अपने इतिहास से कुछ नहीं सीखा है। वो आतंकवाद के सहारे, प्रॉक्सी वॉर के सहारे अपने आप को प्रासंगिक बनाए रखने का प्रयास कर रहा है। लेकिन आज जब मैं उस जगह से बोल रहा हूं जहां आतंक के आकाओं को मेरी आवाज सीधे सुनाई पड़ रही है, मैं आतंकवाद के इन सरपरस्तों को कहना चाहता हूं कि उनके नापाक मंसूबे कभी कामयाब नहीं होंगे।
Prime Minister Modi also said that India is undergoing major reforms in all sectors, including its defence forces. He said that indigenous equipments are being given to the armed forces to reduce the dependence on any other country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on this occasion also clarified doubts raised by the opposition parties about the Agnipath scheme. He said that the scheme aimed to smoothen the process of taking young people into the army at an early age. The scheme is not at all related to escaping a pension.
अग्निपथ का लक्ष्य सेनाओं को युवा बनाना है। अग्निपथ का लक्ष्य सेनाओं को युद्ध के लिए निरंतर योग्य बनाए रखना है। दुर्भाग्य से राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा से जुड़े इतने संवेदनशील विषय को कुछ लोगों ने राजनीति का विषय बना दिया है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi cautioned the opposition parties not to politicize the country's defence issues. He said the Kargil victory was a victory of the nation and not of any political party. Akhilesh Suman's report for DD India.
Now, India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval delivered a New Delhi's national statement at the meeting of the Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation or BIMSTEC on Friday. Ajit Doval is leading the Indian delegation at the 4th annual BIMSTEC meeting being held in Myanmar. He spoke on strengthening cooperation on counter-terrorism, combating drug trafficking, arms smuggling and organized crime, BIMSTEC connectivity, and holding the second ports conclave and water security of Himalayan river systems. Ajit Doval also met with the Myanmar NSA Admiral Mo Aung on Thursday and BIMSTEC security chiefs, fostering bilateral ties with the counterpart. World Heritage Committee has announced inclusion of Moitam's Mount Burial System of Ahom Dynasty, Assam, India as the 43rd World Heritage Site from India. Moidams is the first cultural heritage site and the third overall site from northeast to be inscribed on the World Heritage List. The two others are Kaziranga and Manas, which were inscribed under the Natural Heritage category. Now, on the sidelines of the 46th session of the World Heritage Committee being held in New Delhi, India and the United States signed a significant bilateral agreement to prevent the illegal trafficking of cultural properties. This agreement will help both the countries to combat trafficking of cultural artifacts and also help repatriation of important artifacts of India from United States. The agreement was signed by the Secretary, Union Ministry of Culture, Govind Mohan, and the US Ambassador to India, Arika Sethi.
Our tangible heritage not only navigates us to the latent linkages with the intangible, but also defines our history and identity. It embodies the ingenuity, creativity, and diverse expressions of human experience. Today, we have witnessed the signing of a historic agreement between the United States of America and India on the sidelines of 46th session of the World Heritage Committee meeting, designed to prevent the illegal trafficking of cultural property and enhance cooperation on its protection and lawful exchange.
To know Indian culture is to know human culture. This is not just the culture of a single country, subcontinent, or civilization. It is human culture, but it must be where it comes from to be fully understood in context. The colonial experience here in India meant that much was taken from India. And this agreement will allow us to legally be able to share that art, not in a way that steals and that takes, but that is given and shared again. And that's really what culture should be about for all human beings.
We're just few hours away from the Paris opening ceremony, and the Paris 2024 Olympics will be groundbreaking. Events will be held within 3 zones in Paris, and the opening ceremony will take place on the Seine River in a few hours from now. Athletes will parade on boats equipped with cameras for an up-close view. PV Sindhu will be the flag bearer of the Indian contingent at the opening ceremony, along with ace table tennis star Achanta Sharat Kamal. Here's an exclusive report by DD India correspondent Narayan Singh from Paris.
Paris Olympics 2024 promises an unforgettable experience. It will be the 3rd time the French capital hosts the Olympic Games after 1900 and 1924, and comes exactly a century after the last time the city staged the Games. For 17 days, the world will be captivated by a showcase of athletic prowess and sportsmanship, embodying excellence, friendship and respect. The opening ceremony of the Paris Olympic Games 2024 will take place on 26 July with a closing ceremony on 11th August. Said to be the first Olympic Games opening ceremony held outside a stadium, the 26 July celebration will transform the French capital into a grand stadium and theatre, as the traditional parade of athletes takes place in boats along the Seine River. India has a formidable contingent of 117 athletes, hoping to better its impressive medal haul of 7 from Tokyo 2020. PV Sindhu will be the flag bearer of the Indian contingent alongside ace table tennis player Achanta Sharat Kamal.
Waiting for the 26th of July when we'll be leading the Indian contingent in the opening ceremony in Paris. So it's been a moment which, since the last 3-4 months, I've been dreaming about, visualizing. So I'm pretty excited that I'm going to live that moment, and especially I'm going to do that with PV Sindhu. So it's a fantastic moment, I would say. And how about you?
Yes, I'm very happy to be the flag bearer also with our fellow Indian Sharad Kamal. It's a proud moment for both of us, and of course it's a one-time opportunity for anyone to be a flag bearer and obviously representing our country. It's at the Olympics, standing there right in the front holding Indian flag. So it's a very proud moment for both of us, and of course he's like a super senior to me. I've known him for a very, very long time, so it's always nice to be holding a flag with the fellow Indian.
Around 10,500 athletes from the territories of 206 National Olympic Committees and the IOC Refugee Olympic Team will take part in the Olympic Games. A total of 329 medal events will be held, with 35 venues hosting the events in Paris. Breaking makes its Olympic debut at Paris 2024. There will also be new events in athletics, boxing, canoe slalom, sailing, shooting and sport climbing. From 32 overall sports included in Paris Olympics, India is participating in 16 disciplines. With the spirit of over 1 billion supporters behind them, these athletes embody the aspirations and dreams of a nation eager to carve its name in Olympic history. As they step onto the grand stage of Paris 2024, India's athletes aim to inspire and achieve glory, striving for excellence in the ultimate celebration of human potential and perseverance.
The city of Paris has left no stone unturned to make the opening ceremony a grand event. It is one opening ceremony, but it has several firsts. An opening ceremony on a river, an opening ceremony outside the stadium, an opening ceremony which is open to many spectators, an opening ceremony which is athlete-centric. So we are hoping that this opening ceremony will mark a start of a new era in the Olympic history. Camera person Senthil, Narayan Singh for DD India, Paris.
And the entire country is cheering for the Indian contingent who are participating at this edition of Paris Olympics. Let's take a listen to them as well.
I wish all the athletes who are going for the Olympics the very best, and I'm sure we're going to come back with a handful of medals this time.
I would like to wish the Indian contingent all my best wishes for the Paris Olympics. Jai Hind.
And I'm wishing the entire Indian contingent the very best for the upcoming Paris Games. Let's get together to cheer for Team Bharat. Go for gold, India.
To all my fellow Indian athletes heading towards Paris Olympics 2024, as we approach towards this incredible event, I want to wish you all the best. All the people of India believe in you and hope that you can compete with all your heart, showcase your skills and show the world the spirit and talent of India. Go Team India!
All right, with that, it's a wrap here on this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on your screens to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Deepika Mehto, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.